When people ask what you do and you say that you work in HR, I can guarantee they probably think you do one of two things: hiring and firing. While it's true, those are two major parts of your job, but you and I both know, or we both should know, it is not the only thing that you do. But let's be honest, when we're working in HR, especially when we're new to the organization or we're newer to the profession, we do find ourselves getting trapped in these two buckets, hiring and firing, because it's visible to what people see us do, it's for what people expect us to do, and it just feels more comfortable. While it may be a comfortable spot to be in, it's also dangerous to ignore the other disciplines of HR. So that's what we're going to talk about today. Today I'm taking a high level view and breaking down the HR disciplines that you should be focusing on so that you can walk into your day with confidence, knowing that you're focusing on the right things. If you're looking for clarification to make sure you are not overlooking the most important parts of your job, this video is for you. Hey, I'm Brittany, CEO and founder of Talented Teams Consulting, and I am back with today's video. If you are not already subscribed to this channel, hit that subscribe button and like this video for more videos just like this. I am passionate about helping HR professionals, whether they're HR departments of one, department leaders, or even aspiring HR professionals, to break out of the chaos of your everyday work and to be more proactive and more intentional about the work that you do. If you are serious about your career growth, your HR career growth, we need to be connected. To limit HR to only hiring and only firing is really a disservice to you as an HR professional and a disservice to your organization and to your team that you serve. From compensation and benefits to payroll and records to employee relations and talent acquisition and workplace development, there's so many things that come under the lens of HR. And so again, to limit yourself to only focusing on your hiring strategy and only focusing on your termination practices is very limiting. There's a long-standing debate of what is HR, or who is HR there to serve, or is HR just a security guard, or is HR just a policy enforcer? Think of HR as a balancing beam between the workplace and the workers within that workplace, the business and the employees. When you don't look at HR from a holistic standpoint, you can get tunnel vision, and from that viewpoint that you have, you can become more employer focused. Employees, if they have bad interactions with previous HR employees, they might say that, HR always sides with the employer, or HR this, HR that. And I get that completely, but I can't give an account for what other HR professionals before me have done. I can only give an account for the work that I do. Same as you. You can only give an account for the work that you do. As the world continues to change and the expectations of workplaces continue to change and the people within those workplaces continue to change as well, HR is becoming more and more important with every passing month, every passing regulation, especially every passing year. So again, if you are not focused on expanding your knowledge as an HR professional, if you're not focused on building your toolkit and being more impactful and getting away from just the day-to-day paper pushing, you're doing a disservice to your career. I work with HR department of one professionals because I have a heart to serve those professionals. I know how it feels to be the only person in your department and have all the stress of the job on you, and I also know how limiting that also feels. You're the only person, if you're the HR manager or you're the HR generalist or the HR director, whatever, you feel that there's nowhere for you to grow. I'm here to tell you that there is a way for you to grow because I've done it for myself, and it takes intention, it takes effort, and you have to do it on purpose. But again, it's not going to come just because you've been in the job for X number of years. You've got to be very serious about the work that you do and how you are approaching your day as well. So let's walk through some of the HR disciplines that you want to make sure you are making space for in your day every single week at a minimum. First up, let's talk about compensation and benefits. So when I say compensation and benefits, I'm talking, yes, about the pay that you pay your employees and the benefits you have for your employees. But again, think of it in a bigger sense. It's not just what's already there or what do you have to create. If you talk about how you're going to pay your people, that means you think about your compensation strategy. Are you trying to lead the market with your pay? Are you trying to lag the market with your pay? Is it going to vary based on the position that you have? Do you have position pay ranges? Do you have salary grades and things of that nature? All this is under the umbrella of compensation and benefits. But again, all those things are just under compensation. That's one piece of the puzzle. On the benefit side, there are so many benefits that you can cover your employees under, whether it's medical, dental, vision, all of these things, and supplemental insurance as well, long-term disability, accidental death and dismemberment, all of these things. But again, think outside of the box. What are the demographics of the people that you serve? What do they need? What benefits won't be helpful to them? Would a tuition assistance benefit help your employees, or would a student loan repayment benefit help your employees? Think about your team and the people that you serve and how you can better impact their lives positively. Depending on the fiscal year of your organization, whether you have a January 1 benefits renewal or a July 1 or whatever works best for your organization, at a minimum, you should be thinking about your compensation strategy and your benefits program on an annual basis at a minimum. But again, you should be thinking about this throughout the year as well, because things change. Also, under the benefits category, you have people who experience qualifying events, whether they make their open enrollment elections and then they have a qualifying event in the middle of the year that allows them to make a change to the benefits coverage. Do you have a process around handling these qualifying events? Do you have a system in place? Are you being consistent? Are you using a checklist? When it comes to making changes to pay, do you have a salary administration policy where you talk about what warrants a pay change? Are you giving blanket merit increases? Are you doing anything specific for pay for performance? All these things are wrapped up in the compensation and benefits bucket, and if you're not putting a finger on the pulse of what is going on in your organization, you're going to get left behind. As you can expect, I can't cover every single thing in this video, but I'm saying these things to kind of plant a seed in you. If the things I'm saying kind of ring a bell for you and you're not yet working toward these things, write these things down. If you don't already have something to write with, write these things down and come back to it to make sure you are continuously improving your department. Again, when you're trying to grow your career, you can't grow your career only based on how long you've been in the role. That's old school. That's not working anymore. And you can't necessarily grow your career just by hopping from job to job. Yes, you can do it. $2,000 here, $5,000 here. If you're not getting more things done, if you're not being more impactful, really, how satisfied can you be knowing that you're not doing anything that's going to positively impact those around you? Optimizing your department is a big piece of being able to grow your HR career. Those are things I work with my clients on, and the reason I have these programs that I run where I'm teaching different things to make sure that you are keeping a finger on the pulse of what you need to do and what you need to know to grow your department. Next up, we'll talk about payroll and records. So talking about payroll, how often are your employees paid? Are you paid, bi-weekly, monthly, weekly? How does that work? Are you sure that everyone is classified properly? Do you know whether your exempt employees are properly classified? Do you know your non-exempt employees are properly classified? All those things are wrapped up in the payroll processing. Are you properly handling their taxes? Are you properly handling their garnishments? Are you making sure that the necessary payroll filings are taken care of? There's a lot of things for you to know as an HR professional, and so if you get nothing else from this video, I want you to remember, you do not have to have it all in your mind. That's the benefit of working from checklists. That's the benefit of working from systems and processes that you create, because you cannot have it all figured out on your own because you're not a machine. The reason why I think about these HR disciplines in these buckets is because I had to realize very early in my career, once I became an HR department of one, I was spending way too much time in hiring and firing, way too much time there. And again, if you're spending way too much time trying to get people in, you're trying to spend way too much time either getting people out or trying to get people to not leave, that means you're not focusing on the employee experience. That means you're not focusing on your compensation strategy. That means you're not focusing on all the things that are going to take to retain those employees. So again, focusing only on hiring and firing is the wrong approach, because it's going to allow you to get tunnel vision and you're going to miss out on the things that are going to actually make your workplace a better place to work. From an employee relations perspective, HR also is at the forefront of making sure that we are resolving conflicts between employees, between teams, between leadership, and making sure that we help them to get to satisfactory resolution. Think about it. If you're in a workplace where there's a lot of strife and a lot of division, it's going to be very difficult to get things done. That impacts not only the morale, but it impacts the productivity as well. And that just can't happen. Just like anything else, you want to make sure you're being very consistent with the way you are approaching things. You don't have favorites. You don't have people that you would prefer to not work with. The answer that you give to your top performer should be the same answer that you give to your worst performer, so to speak. The way you build your credibility is by handling yourself in these situations. Because while you may not think that they're sitting back and comparing how you handle different things, especially when you're the only one in the department, people are watching and people are going to notice if you're giving preferential treatment to one person or one group of people. Taking employee relations a step further, HR is also at the forefront when it comes to employee development. That looks like establishing criteria for evaluating performance, whether it's a new hire, whether it's someone who's on probation, whether it's an annual review or biannual review. You want to be consistent with the way you approach things, which means your forms have to be in line, your process have to be in line, the expectations of yourself and of your managers have to be in line, because you want everyone to be on board with what's going to happen and what it looks like when certain things take place. While you are not the employee's direct supervisor, you play a key role in developing them as employees. So you have to give them the tools or give them access to resources and opportunity to make sure they are getting the things they need to be more impactful and more successful in their roles. To do that, you have to know what they need. So you must have an effective way of measuring progress, of measuring their performance, and not only from a subjective standpoint, but from an objective standpoint. Again, these are all the things that I work with my clients on to help you to get systems and processes in place to make sure that you are approaching things intentionally and approaching things on purpose. And of course, you handle hiring and firing when it comes to, talent acquisition and how you handle your separations and things of that nature. Not going to harp on those because we know those pretty well. I'm sure we spend a lot of those times in those areas, but again, those are the things that we have to do. All these things we have to know as an HR professional. The overarching umbrella over all these things is compliance. There are so many laws that impact workplaces, even with only one employee. I think sometimes we expect, okay, well, we don't have 7 employees, we only have 11 employees. You still have a lot of laws that you have to abide by, employment laws, to make sure you are giving your employees the right things in the right times. Even in this brief video, there's a lot of things that I have not covered, and there's a lot of things that I have covered. And I know it feels overwhelming when you're working on your own to have the pressure to have to get all these things done at one time. But now that we've had this conversation, you can't say that you don't know what you should be focusing on or you don't know what you should be looking through. In addition to talent acquisition, you want to make sure you're focusing on your compensation and benefits. You want to make sure you're focusing on your payroll and your records. You want to make sure you're focusing on employee relations and your employee development. Also employee training that we didn't really touch on. All these things make the employee experience one that people want to be a part of and one that people feel valued within. If you're getting overwhelmed with all the things you have to do, I have created a tool, the Thriving in HR Planner. It's going to help you to identify how much time you're spending in each of these category buckets. A significant portion of this planner is what I call the weekly priorities and the weekly schedule pages. So on the weekly priorities, we're taking those buckets that we just talked about, and you're going to write down what are you doing in each of these categories. There might be some weeks that you don't work in comp and benefits. There might be some weeks that you don't work in employee relations, and that's fine. But if you work week after week after week after week in the same few disciplines, you're going to see really, really quickly a clear gap. And that's going to help you to identify maybe you need more training. Maybe you need more experience. Maybe you need more exposure. Maybe you need to get some questions answered. Maybe you just need to kind of get out of your comfort zone and try to do something that's challenging to you. This planner is the tool that I use. I created it over 10 years ago because I had to have something written down for myself to help me to identify, what am I doing? Brittany, what are you doing? Where are you spending all your time? Because I got tired of going into the office on Monday at 9 o'clock in the morning and leaving on Friday at 6 o'clock in the evening and feeling like I didn't get what I wanted to get done and not having anything to show for it. Yes, things got done. Yes, people, they got served, but I don't know if I was doing the right things. I didn't know if I was focused on the right projects. I don't know if I was missing deadlines at all because I wasn't tracking anything. I had to create a tool for myself that allowed me to not only get more organized for myself, I didn't even realize it was helping me to grow my career. Because for me, what happened was that once I got a chance to organize my own day, organize my own systems, it made space for me to be able to take on other challenges. I just think about the Bible says, if you're faithful over the few, you'll be blessed with more. And that's exactly the story of my life. As soon as I am blessed with what I have here and I take well of it, I'm a good steward of this thing, then I'm blessed with more. And then I'm a good steward of this thing, then I'm blessed with more. And I'm a good steward of this thing, and then I'm blessed with more. So that's what I want you to do as well. I want to inspire you to be a great steward over the resource that you have, of the opportunity that you have to make an impact. As an HR professional, you make an impact on the lives of those people that you serve. They're more than just employees, and you're more than just an HR professional. You are a whole person. And that's why within the planner, I also talk about who you are as a person. Before you get into your monthly, your weekly, your quarterly, your annual priorities, we're talking about you as a person. What challenges are you experiencing? What do you want to accomplish? How are you going to pour into yourself? What are you going to do from a self-care perspective? So again, you are more than your HR job title. You're more than what you aspire to accomplish, but you've got to take care of yourself first. So I have the tools that I've created for myself that have helped me and blessed me so much that I praise a blessing to you as well. I'll drop a link to information about the planner down below this video, and YouTube thinks you should watch this video next, so I'll see you in the very next video.